Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the warehouse cardcast with Mike and Nate and Mike.
Yes.
How are you?
Good.
Good.
Ready to go.
It's been a big week.
Yeah. Been some news happening.
It's been a big first week of 2022.
Yeah.
Deuce, not deuce, deuce.
Deuce nil.
Deuce Z, deuce, deuce.
Yeah. Deuce nil was in the soccer game.
Yeah, deuce nil.
So there's nothing to talk about.
And there's a naked octogenarian running across the pitch.
Yeah, it's been kind of weird. Like, I mean, everybody kind of saw it coming, but
yeah, Fanatics bought Tops, and Fanatics bought Tops. That's the main news for this week.
That's the headline.
Sports card snooze.
Yeah, that's the headline. I mean, we knew something like that was going to happen. We just didn't know exactly what. So this kind of evens it out. I mean, this kind of gives us some jumping off point. And it said immediately.
Yeah.
So, I think they're going to lessen the blow of some of the stuff that's going to happen by implementing it in gradual.
Yeah.
I don't think they're just going to cut everybody off and.
No, and they're not ready to. Like, they don't. I don't think they have like a website platform up for people. I'm sure they could go through StockX and they'll probably start offering some things.
Yeah.
Some special products and stuff, but then to gradually grow into it. But a lot of the stuff they're wanting to offer breaking and slab and grading cards and all that stuff. Like they'll have to assemble that. Yeah.
Years down the road, probably.
And they, I'm sure, like they want to project themselves as the most professional as possible, like a, real life professional business, not just some. They just don't want to just throw something up.
Yeah, there's going to be probably Top Series 2 on Fanatics.com, or Top Series 1, I mean, the new 2022 Series 1. And Heritage always comes out in February, so Heritage will be available, probably hobby, retail, blasters, whatever they have already ready to go. I'm sure they can just throw that up there now, I mean,
Topps throws hobby product up on their website. It's for an MSRP. Have you talked to any of the dealers that have direct contracts to see if
nobody knows anything?
They haven't heard anything.
Nobody knows nothing. Nobody that has a direct account, nobody that has wholesale accounts. The wholesalers apparently don't know anything. I mean, it just happened 3 days ago, so that's kind of not shocking, but nothing is going to change. I mean, the way the direct account stuff and even the wholesale stuff is, sometimes you're 4 to 6 months out ordering that stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you don't pay for it until the week comes in or whatever. Tops is a little bit different, I think, where they make you pay up front. I'm not sure. I've never had one, so I think I don't think they're just gonna cut it off. I mean, they're definitely going more direct to consumer type. I mean, it's gonna be, you're not gonna have to get up at 7 a.m. to order from Target anymore. It's gonna be on Fanatics, and they're gonna have a decent stockpile of it, and that might take a few months or whatever. I don't know. Tops may have contracts with MJ Holdings and Excel Marketing that has to run out. I don't know all that stuff either, so they may have to fulfill those contracts, but it's all going Fanatics. Bookmark Fanatics.com, because that's where you're going to get your sports cards from now on, your Tops cards.
Yeah. I mean, I think so too. I mean, obviously Josh Luber said something different than what was being said beforehand, but he qualified everything with that it wasn't statements from Fanatics, it was his desires, is what he was saying. And that doesn't mean anything, and I'm with you. I think from what I've seen and heard, the impression that I get is they're going to go all direct to consumer. And what you'll find in your hobby shops is just going to be you know, I mean, you'll be able to go on there and buy a case. You might even get a discount or whatever, so that if people want to rip something right now, they can. They don't have to
Yeah.
wait a week
Yeah.
to get in their product or something, if they want
Mm-hmm.
to go by the shop, or they don't have to buy, a bunch of different products. They can go and pick and choose what they want at the time, which is what people like to do when they come in here.
Someone like Fanatics seems like they are good at they're good at distributing without overhead. So like they'll sign exclusive contracts with, say, like the NFL, but they'll put all their stuff in the NFL stores, but they don't have any overhead there. It's at the stadium, all that stuff. And the hobby shops could be that as well. Like we'll put all the headaches of running a business onto these guys and then just, distribute our stuff to them. Just like it's worked before. Like they're not gonna, I mean, the number of shops is not going to be anywhere near where they've said they wanted it to be. I mean, it just can't happen that way.
No,
but
that was a dumb thing for him to say. Like that doesn't even make any sense.
It's so dumb. It's the only thing that really stuck with me. That's the first thing I think of in that interview.
Yeah.
But those they could distribute that stuff almost the same. I mean, it's not going to change. As long as you get an account there, it's not going to change. And I don't know. I mean, it seems like they come in. It seems like Fanatics comes in and changes all the inside guts of it, and then tries to keep the outer shell as consistent as possible.
Yeah, Fanatics Majestic is not much different than when Majestic made jerseys.
Not for the end consumer. Yeah. Right. So I think it's going to be the same way for this. I think it's going to be. You might have to change shops on where you go to get your stuff, or
that's if they have any direct accounts. Like we've speculated that like there are certain people that will be crowned by Fanatics with special accounts and stuff like that, but there's nothing, nobody said that, right?
No, but I think they're smart enough. From the stuff I've been reading, I think they're smart enough to realize there's no hobby without hobby shops. I mean, that they're cutting their legs out. Not shops like mine, but more of the, Taj Mahal ones they were talking about or whatever. Not Taj Mahal, but Palaces ones they were talking about, I think, but I mean, there's only one or two in the city that get the size of Kansas City. We don't need 10 of those. I mean, we can't support 10 of those.
No.
So that's what I mean by I think it's gradual. I think it's gonna,
and at least collectors here, they don't want that. Like,
no,
not the majority of collectors. I mean, your hobby wax is bought up by probably a small majority of people that like to rip that high end stuff. But it's a very small percentage of the market, or of the hobby. But the majority of collectors don't probably buy. They don't probably, I mean, they might buy a Topps hobby box for $150, but they don't spend over $300 on a box of cards. Like I would say a vast majority in the course of a year don't buy a box of cards that's over $300.
Yeah, I don't rip stuff that's that high. The returns, but it just depends on, like, I don't know the exact numbers of Topps. I mean, 15,000 cases of something is a lot. Like Topps Chrome Hobby or Bowman Draft or whatever. Like, can Fanatics put together, 10 channels on their Fanatics.com that's breaking that much and run guys like, Leighton and Firehands, and can they do all the breaking like they want to? I mean, when they're saying everything direct to consumer, that's how the first step of this entire thing was, like 2014, 15, 16 was breakers getting in and making it possible for wholesalers to raised the prices the second time through. Like before, the highest price that wax was on opening day. I mean, that's the most you paid for it. And then 90% of it dropped.
Yeah.
And then if there was a good rookie, if it was a decent product like Topps Chrome or whatever, then it would go back up gradually. But from 2000 to 2015, basically, I mean, that's very generic, but the most of box cost was on opening day. Was the day it came out. And it's breakers that made it happen where you couldn't go back to the wholesaler and say, hey, I want some more. You know, you would buy it for that same price, but you would lower the retail price of it a little to sell it because there was something else coming in or whatever the case may be. So the breakers set that up. And if you cut breakers out, if you cut wholesalers out and then the breaker supply chain gets shut off, there's not enough people to open 15,000 cases of overpriced Topps Chrome baseball.
Right.
I mean, the breakers are the ones carrying that.
Yeah.
So
nobody's buying that much to break on their own.
No, you can't.
There's not.
Yeah. I don't know anybody that breaks a case of Topps Chrome baseball anymore. I mean, a box is the same price as a case used to be. You know, like 2-3 boxes.
Yeah.
So they can't just cut out like Fanatics could start their own breaking site 6 months from now and cut down the bottom 10% of breakers.
Yeah.
You know, and then 6 months after that, they can build it up really fast, I'm sure, or hire Firehand or hire Leighton or buy their business for, like buy their following. I mean, stuff like that could happen all the time.
Well, and
that's how they build it to scale. That's what he was talking about. That's how they build it to scale quickly, is just buy a business that's already successful.
Sure.
I mean, that's what they've done with Topps. So,
well, and breaks, most products break for about a week. Like that's their lifespan on a breaking channel, on a big breaking channel is about a week, and I feel like if they start breaking, I could see them making a lot more limited print run stuff, and they're the only ones that break it. And every week or every couple weeks, they come out with something new.
Yeah,
and it's a certain amount of stuff is only available if you get it through their breaks. Like they're the only ones that break it,
or they break it for 2 weeks before anybody else can.
That too, yeah.
And then they push it off, and which either one of those are the same amount likely, So, they're gonna come in, and they're gonna make it happen so it's most profitable for them, and they're gonna make it look like on the outside that nothing is really changing, and then a little by little, they're going to turn a little bit out, and then 4 years from now, you look, hey, there's 3 shops in Kansas City. Remember when there was 18?
Yeah.
And Fanatics.com is selling for the same price as you are. You know? And that's what it's going to end up at. Like, there's not going to be any, Topps this is like one of the biggest deals in the history of baseball cards. Topps was just bought. That's only happened like 2 other times.
Yeah.
Like, Topps was just purchased, and it's just like, that's Fanatics at it again, And that's what it's going to feel like for 5 years until they get all the licenses. And it's not going to surprise me at all if, I don't know what the licensing situation is with the base or the Basketball and Football Players Association, but the chances of unlicensed Topps football now has gone up 10,000% that Fanatics has it instead of Topps. I mean, Topps cared about Topps football cards even though they weren't making them anymore.
Yeah.
Like 2022 or 2023 Topps Chrome football with Bryce Young or Aiden Hutchison as a Jaguar is 10,000 times more likely to happen now than it was 4 days ago.
Sure.
So, I don't know who the big basketball, Mikey Williams or whatever his name is. Like, those guys are gonna have Topps Chrome rookie cards now.
Yeah.
Even if it's off of the website, even if it's like, Topps Now stuff or whatever they call it. Like that's whatever all that's going to happen now. And in the immediate, it's going to seem really cool and really good, and we're going to have another push and we're going to have another run. But it's hard to talk about 5 years from now.
It's going to alienate. It's going to continue to alienate. Like the last 3 years, the market has alienated a lot of your traditional collectors.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to do that even more. I feel like there's a really good chance Fanatics is going to implement new strategies. They're going to do all this new stuff. And they're going to try to fix what wasn't broken and what nobody wanted fixed. They're going to try. And there are people out there that they want more modern designs and fancy ways of going about things. And like, you know, I mean, there's plenty of people out there in this hobby right now. But I think that's a rolling population of people that get in and out of it. And that there will still be those people. Like, there's always been people that wanted to get on a breaking channel and rip immaculate and flawless, and they don't care what they pay for it. And that's just, they love that experience. There's no doubt in my mind that there's enough people out there that are willing to leave wherever they're at and go to Fanatics.com and support those breaks. You know, somebody's got to power the machines in the Matrix.
Yeah. But the thing that keeps those breaks going past the first week is the value afterwards, like the value of the singles. I mean, I can have stuff set on my shelf for 6 months if it doesn't have any resale value. So they're gonna have to watch carefully, because if Panini now has no vested interest for the next 3 years of the future past that. So, I mean, they've already done it with Select. You know, they've ruined the brand of Select. They've ruined. I mean, we were having a conversation in the shop earlier yesterday about how smart it was to buy Topps and not even worry about Panini, because there's no real brands anybody cares about. You know, and that's all people have been buying is Prism and Optic and Select, and like, I mean, those are the brands. Yeah. But as soon as Topps Chrome comes back, it's over. Like, Prism was dog water.
Yeah.
when Topps Chrome was around, you know. So, I mean, it's the smartest. It was almost, you know, we talked about it 2 months ago or whatever long. It was the obvious move that they were gonna have to do something like that.
It's the boring, like, it's the least exciting thing that could have happened, in my opinion. Like, not that I wanted to see it, like, get all dramatic and sweaty and stuff like that, but
you wanted to watch them burn.
It would be fun. Yeah. Yeah. Like, it could have been a lot more interesting than just, oh, Fanatics bought Topps, now they're gonna start making baseball cards. Like, it's better for the hobby. It's probably the second best thing that could have happened outside of Fanatics just being like, we made a mistake, here, have your licenses back. It's the second best thing that could have happened, but it could have been a lot more interesting.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it's the same way as the baseball strike. Like, there's just too much money involved.
Yeah.
You know, they're not going to screw it up.
Yeah.
They can just, as long as they ride this train, they can just cash a check every.
So I feel like what we'll see is you'll still get Topps Series 1, Series 2 Topps update. You'll get Heritage. You'll get Bowman and maybe Bowman Chrome and Topps Chrome. And then they're going to have like 50 different products that are like Topps Sapphire, that are like these super fancy premium products that they're going to break online.
I can see that. Yeah. I mean, I can see there. I think the only thing that's going to change I think they're smart enough to figure out. I mean, I give them a little more credit than you do, but I think they're going to try not to change it for the people that don't want change.
Yeah.
So you can go and get Topps from Walmart, or I think the only thing that's going to change is which website you buy it from.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, not even then. It's going to be Tops.com where you can go buy it from. It'll be on Fanatics.com. It'll be on Tops.com. But then they're also going to have there's a huge portion of I would say 90% of the people that come in, and I show them my Patrick Mahomes Panini Instant One of Ones, and they have no idea what they are. You know, and those have been around 5, 6, 7 years. I think there's going to be, like you said, I think there's going to be a whole new wave of cards like that. That 90% of the people aren't going to care about, but those 10%.
Do you know what augmented reality is?
Yeah.
Okay. So I could see this like a mixture of Top Shot and cards where it's a moment, but only if you have the card, you can view it in augmented reality and it plays out like on the top of the card. Like if you lay that card down and you look at it with your Apple AR glasses or whatever,
yeah,
then it plays out that moment on the top of the card.
I mean, that's for the people that grew up with video games and Fortnite and all that stuff. I mean, that doesn't sound that far fetched.
I don't know. I just came up with that.
I'll take my 52 tops.
Yeah.
55 tops or 59 tops. Yeah.
I would a lot rather have that.
Yeah.
I would a lot rather have that. That's just the act of collecting cards is worth more to me than maybe the cards themselves. Like the fanciness doesn't mean much to me, but if I can look back in history, you know, the 50s stuff and is what I've been dealing with the most lately, and I just love it because it's a different world. Like you're kind of transported to a more innocent world where baseball's the American pastime, and people probably smelled worse but acted better.
Yeah. It's a huge selling point on when I sell stuff out there. I have to point out to people like blasters are 8 packs and hanger boxes are 130 card pack. So if you want the thrill of actually opening packs to find something, maybe the blaster is what you're searching for, and not this hanger that's all the cards are there, but it's just 1 pack. Like for the new people that don't know, and the act of opening packs in front of you has value, and that's nobody like Top Shot was a thing, but it's not taking over the business. Like opening your packs online is something new, and it's not going to catch on, anytime soon.
And no matter what they do, like the majority of value in the hobby is right here. I mean, it's in stuff that was opened over the last 70, 80, 90, 100 years that they don't have access to.
No.
Like, in a very serious way, your collectors, your hobbyists control the hobby because they have the assets. It's only if you give them the assets, like we have in the last couple of years, where you make that product controlled by that company the priority. Like, obviously, all new stuff's going to be, but, you do give them way more credit than I do. Because I think they're just going to screw everything up. But I do think there's a lot of faith and hope to be had in that the vast majority of assets are owned by individuals for this hobby. Your set of 1972 tops is an asset that, is controlled by you and has a real value on the market if you put it out there or whatever. But
they can also ruin that value, by driving enough people out of it. I mean, that's what they did in the 90s, late 80s, early 90s. So it's, you
mean drove enough in the late 80s, early 90s, drove people out of the hobby in general?
Yeah, well, I guess it would be mid 90s, by the time they drove people out, so, I still think everything we talked about is going to happen. I think they've bought at the peak. I don't think I think where they're wanting it to go, everybody you watch on YouTube or anything is like, this is just the beginning, this is, we can take this other places, and it's like, I'm not sold on that.
No. Where are you gonna go with this?
Like,
we went there already.
Cards are really cool.
Yeah.
I think cards are really cool. My brother watches sports and he thinks cards are cool, but he's not out buying packs. Like, my friends, my poker buddies that I've known 15 years, I'm the only one that collects cards.
Yeah.
Like, is there room for growth? I mean, on paper, but
from where we're at right now, no.
Right, but like on paper there is, because what I've talked about before, cards were so dead at one point, not even 5 years ago, that two big card dealers in Kansas City switched from cards to memorabilia.
Yeah.
And the thought was, what I came up with is, if you go to a Chiefs game, there's 80,000 people in the stadium. All 80,000 of those people that are Chiefs fans want a Patrick Mahomes signed jersey, or a signed football, or a signed helmet. And back then, it was maybe 8,000 want a rookie card.
Mm-hmm.
And in maybe. This market,
yeah, maybe
in this market, that may have grown 4x, 3x, 4x, and now 40,000.
Yeah.
So 32,000, 40,000, whatever. Like, we're not getting to 80.
No.
We're not getting to 80.
No.
So,
well, you got a max of 10% on the female side. Like, that's your max. You're never going to get more than 1 in 10 females to collect cards.
Yeah. So we're we're betting, like, if all of that was true, that we're just at the beginning point, everybody should be hoarding every card that they own, because
I do not recommend that. I do not recommend that.
Burbank is expanding, but they're not hoarding cards. They're just flipping cards on the market. Like it benefits everybody for all those people to say the market's going to continue to go up.
They're doing the same thing we are. They're selling stuff as fast and as profitably as they possibly can.
Mm-hmm. It's weird that there's not a lot of people saying what we're saying. Is what I'm.
That's what's weird.
Yeah,
they're kissing some serious booty. Like,
if they get that Fanatics exclusive account, then right.
Yeah, they're seriously kissing some booty, because, like, I'm just here to tell you, everybody feels the same way we do. Everybody does. It's in cards. It's actually in cards.
They feel this is the peak. Is that what you mean?
This is the peak, in that Fanatics buying the licenses for trading cards is not a good thing. Like, they're not going to do it better than Topps did. They're not going to support the hobby better than Topps did.
Well, there's a lot of apprehension because they don't know they're afraid all the profits that they've seen over the last 3 years are going to go directly to Fanatics and not themselves.
They are.
Well, that's not necessarily that's like the inner workings of the sausage factory.
Yeah.
Like, the consumer may not know a difference, other than the fact that 1 in 4 of their shops are going away, or 3 in 4 of their shops are going away.
And I don't blame anybody for playing the game, and if they've got a chance at getting an account, if there's one out there, then go ahead and play the game. That's their business. That's their right. To put on their strong face and hike their pants up over their boots and stand up straight and go out there and just smile and tell everybody how great Fanatics is.
Yeah.
And hopefully they will be.
Yeah. It's going to take a while for them to screw it up.
Yeah, sneaker flipping was a big deal like 7 years ago.
Yeah, but they didn't buy Nike.
No, they bought StockX.
Right. So they screwed it up there. And this time they bought Nike. And now Nike's making the shoes still. Topps is making the cards still.
Yeah.
Maybe they learned something. I mean,
sneaker flipping was not cards. And that's not what I meant. But Josh Luber ruined sneaker flipping. Like, literally gutted it.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist.
Yeah.
You know, there's...
I don't know if it does. You know, I don't know anything about it.
Well, I mean, there used to be, like, short-run Nikes that you had to be in the know, in the game, to know how to get them and where to get them and everything. It was not... And then he came in and, like, all those people that were in the know, it didn't matter anymore. Like, now there's 1,000.
Now they just print as many shoes as they can sell.
Yeah, now there's 1,000 different kind of Air Jordans that come out every year, and you can buy all of them on StockX, and none of those people matter anymore.
Yeah.
They used to be able...
That sounds what's like everything we've talked about.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing that's going to change for the consumer is where you're going to buy your cards.
Yeah. Instead
of ordering from Walmart.com or Target.com, it's going to be Topps.com, Fanatics.com.
Yeah.
And there are going to be shops that go out of business. I mean, there's too many shops that started early with the hope of getting vendor licensing, all that stuff to get, and most of them haven't got it. Mm-hmm. So those will go away organically.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that probably need to go away. The guys that I mean, there's 3 guys that have Topps direct accounts in Kansas City. I mean, those guys are going to have those accounts until they don't. I mean, I don't know what kind of contract there is with them. I don't know, but everybody that has one would sign a lifetime contract. Like, it could be taken away tomorrow, you know, if they wanted to. That's like what it said immediately. You know, they're not going to cut their legs out until they have their own legs to stand on. But that's not going to take them 3, 4, 5 years. That's going to take them months.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, you don't blow out Dave and Adams, Steel City, Peach State. You know, maybe you cut out Southern Hobby and see what happens.
The wholesale distributors.
Yeah.
Not everybody knows that. That's why they don't know what those words mean. Maybe they do. Sorry if you know, I don't want to be talking over anybody.
They've watched long enough. I've talked about it, I think, but you're right.
Yeah. I don't know. We got 13 viewers on right now.
All 13 guys know. They've been here.
Yeah.
What's up, Ron?
Ron Karn. What's up, man? Sounds like Sport Flicks. Yeah, it's gonna be the Sport Flicks of 2020s. The augmented reality Sport Flicks. But yeah, I don't think that they're gonna push those guys out of business, but like, there's a lot of shops that aren't gonna be here 5 years, regardless of who owns Top. Probably. Right. I mean, the market's going down. You know, you can't. It's not near as easy as it was 2 years ago or a year ago, I guess.
No. I mean, the reason there's so many shops is because the guys that had cards when it started to get big, all of a sudden got all this capital that they didn't realize they were going to have.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, you know, even me, like, I never thought about owning a shop ever again. I mean, I owned a shop for like a year in 2005 and didn't really like it. I was 25 years old and didn't really care about the business workings of it. And I thought I was just going to be a single card flipper the rest of my life or whatever, or bulk or whatever. So, but when the wax grew, you know, and when I always told people it costs $30,000 to $50,000 to open a real card shop.
Yeah.
And a lot of, like, 3 years ago, that was a huge number in the card industry.
Yeah.
Like, there was 3 to 4 guys, 10 guys in the city that could do that, and nobody wanted to do that, you know?
Yeah.
And now there's 18 guys. I mean, or was 18 guys. It's already started to dwindle. But it depends on. I mean, there's a possibility that somehow Fanatics turns into the Walmart of sports cards and puts the little guys out of business by opening some retail, chain shop or putting. I mean, the one that makes sense to me is putting hobby stuff in lids, and then you hire the guy you just put out of business.
Yeah. Isn't there a company that does that where they like franchise? I can't think of where they go in and put in a franchise and buy out the existing company or something like that. I can't.
Yeah, I'm sure there
I can't
is.
think of it, but yeah, it's not out of the question. That person's then an employee of Fanatics, and yeah, I'm sure they set them up with enough profit sharing or whatever, enough incentive, enough incentive. Otherwise, if they're not going to do it, who's Fanatics going to get to do it? You can't. I don't think. I mean, I guess you can. Technically, I've seen it. You can just hire people to run a card shop.
Vintage Stock has done it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pathetic, but
I'm gonna make so much money off that. Like, those people are so dumb. Well, not Vintage Stock. I'm just saying, if they're hiring somebody just off the street to run a card shop and putting them through a corporate training program.
Yeah.
I'm coming into.
I mean,
I hope they have a dollar box.
The last 2 years, a monkey could run a card shop.
Yeah, for sure.
So, and be profitable.
Yeah.
That's going away. But there's enough people out there. I mean, now, let's say there was 18 shops in town, and let's say that dwindles to 5. Now there's 13 guys that have run a card shop and have experience, and we throw $75,000 a year at you at Kansas City to run the shop. I mean, one of those guys is going to take that,
Probably. Yeah, and they're going to set them in a situation where a monkey could run it.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be fed graded slabs and wax, and they're not going to have dollar boxes.
No.
They're going to, I mean, people rip wax. They're probably not going to even let them buy off the street.
No, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've said for years the only reason to have a card shop is the opportunity to buy. That's the only reason I opened a shop.
That's the only reason I want to open a shop. I mean, that's the only reason I have for wanting to open a shop.
I mean, when 2 years ago, I would go around my daily routine was getting up at whatever time, noon, usually, because I was up, listing stuff all night.
Mm-hmm.
But then it was, where am I going to go to buy something?
Mm-hmm.
And I would go to other shops. I would check, whatever, Facebook. I would check my phone. I mean, somebody might have texted me some deal or something. But I would go to another shop. I used to go to Scott's once a week.
Mm-hmm.
Enrique's, Jake's, whoever. There was only 4 or 5 in town. I could go to all 4 of them every week, and then I would go to every show, but 30 to 40 hours of my week was trying to figure out where to buy stuff. And that worked until it didn't. And when it didn't, is the shops got big enough where, it worked organically when I was doing them a favor by taking everything, and they were doing me a favor by giving me everything. And then when it didn't work is when it got big enough that, some of it came off the top, or they didn't need to sell me everything. They could keep some of it. And, they needed customers themselves. They wanted to build their customer base in the store. For whatever reason, they didn't necessarily work. I mean, I was getting the stuff, I was getting the back end stuff, but not necessarily the cream. And I need, at some point you need all of it.
Yeah, you got to pay. I mean,
you want some of the easy money instead of just taking all the difficult money.
Yeah, if you're putting your money out there, there needs to be something there to get it back,
right?
Rather quickly.
Hopefully, yeah, because we were working on tighter budgets. If I put out $1,000, I needed 500 back to buy something else.
Yeah.
So I mean, everybody's doing what's best for themselves, and it worked. A lot, but when I opened this place, I had a bunch of cards and I needed to move a bunch of cards, but I also knew I was going to buy cards. I was going to buy, and I was going to probably pay the most because I was used to be paying the most. Like I was used to paying a middleman, you know, at the time. And it's kind of worked out that way where the singles come here and they get more for their money, and I pay a touch less, and they get a touch more, and everybody's happier, you know. And it just there hasn't been any you really can't see the movement on it because because the industry has climbed so much. Like everybody's making money.
Yeah.
You know, everybody, like if you're not running if you have a shop and it's not a successful shop now, I don't know when it's going to be.
No.
You know. So
it's inputs and outputs. I mean, I don't know how, like, either you overextended yourself on wax that's gone down or whatever, but our day to day is buy at a price, sell it as quick, you know, sell it to make up what's been put out, and then, you know, everything else is profit.
We have Bowman Chrome.
It's not hard.
We don't get right.
It's not complicated.
Right.
It requires.
We don't have Bowman Chrome drafts. We don't get Bowman's Best. We don't have any of that hobby only product. But Bowman's Best came out yesterday, and we've already got Bowman's Best singles on eBay. So that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen overnight. That overnight, you know, that same day transition doesn't happen overnight.
No.
So, no,
the reason you're able to buy so much is because you already had a customer base in place when you opened the doors. You already had individuals, not just dealers, but individuals that knew they would sell you stuff, you know, before you ever opened the shop. You know, it was a long process.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Well, we take everything, right? Even if we don't want it sometimes.
I mean, you know, like, I know it's not that easy. Like, you can't just throw up a shingle and just start buying stuff. You can't just have open a storefront just anywhere and throw up a shingle and just start buying stuff. But if you're willing to take everything, you kind of can. You kind of can. It's going to take a few months for people to understand that. But yeah, you kind of can.
Yeah, but the reason we can, that's exactly right. But the thing that separates us is that stuff's not sitting here if we don't want it to.
Yeah.
You know, like we have the outlets that are already in place to get rid of that stuff. And it's passing. I mean, it's just passing the buck. You know, we don't make any real money on that stuff. You know? Like most of the time we don't even go through it.
Hopefully it pays for itself.
Yeah.
Anymore, because we don't got the time to go through it. Not like we used, you know, not even when I started here, not like we had the opportunity to then. Now it's like a quick glance, and it's like, you know,
we're in the transition now where, like, instead of that being 80s and 90s stuff, it's almost to the point we're doing that with 2020 stuff.
We have started doing that with 2020.
Where it's just in a box over there and it's going to be in an auction soon. You know?
Like the stuff that's coming from me going into the auction is a lot of brand new stuff. You know, and most of it's gotten a once over, but you know, it's the same thing. Like we've talked about this. Like I could find storage for more stuff, but at the rate that they've produced stuff, like, what's the point?
Yeah.
You know, there's going to be you're going to be trying to offload as much to me as you can, and I'm going to be trying to go through as much as I can, and it's not going to end. You know, this stuff is going to be with us for years and years and years.
Yeah. I don't think it's, like, it depends, like, bringing it back to the Fanatics deal. You get to, it's going to be very interesting on how they play it, because the only way to grow, I mean, I shouldn't say the only way. There's two ways to go at it, I think, which is try to create buzz about something that's very limited and only have a few people get it, or just print the crap out of it and make it available everywhere. And it's going to be very interesting. They may try to do both. I mean, they could ruin the Topps, Topps base could go to 88 Donruss status. But
speaking of status, there's no better way to promote multiple products than to separate them by class and make people feel like they're important if they can afford the most expensive one.
Yeah.
Or they're a little bit more important if they can afford.
So Topps Chrome,
a higher end.
Topps opening day, Topps Chrome, Topps Sapphire.
I feel a little bougie when I've got some Topps Sapphire in my hand. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like I'm a little better than the other guy.
I never feel like I'm better than the other guy.
I don't either. I feel a little fancy.
Yeah.
I feel like I might tip my pinky up when I'm drinking my water bottle. Topps Chrome Sapphire Panini National Treasures. Tastes like success.
We'll see.
We'll see. I feel like we should transition to our other topic, which is the where nut.
What not?
The where not. The where not. The
what? Yeah.
Where not. The warehouse on Whatnot. We have a Whatnot account without even trying to get one.
Yeah, we have. We have an amazing opportunity that was just spoon-fed to us.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
It's like how does this?
So I don't know if any of you guys have tried it. I mean, some of you have obviously, but because I know from the people in here talking about it. But Whatnot the warehouse has a Whatnot account that will be active here in the next week or so.
Yeah,
less than a week now.
1,000 Chipper Jones rookies, one by one,
$1 at a time.
We're in a unique situation. We're in a very, very unique situation on with Whatnot, because I have not seen a channel that can pull out, 100 cool 90s inserts worth more than $20 and make an auction out of it. More than $20 a piece, $10-$20 a piece, or I could list 1,000 different unique things like that we could do auctions with, and I haven't seen another seller on there that has that ability.
Right. I haven't spent enough time on there, to be honest with you. My total view time on Whatnot's probably 2 hours.
Yeah.
So but it looks to me like there's a lot of breakers of new stuff, and there's a lot of slab auctions, and there's nobody doing much else other than that.
No, there's singles auctions. I tried watching some, and it was like the one I found one last night, and it was junk, dude. The guy was selling junk.
Yeah.
And there's guys I'd never heard of before.
Yeah.
Baseball guys I'd never heard of before. And that's nothing. You're starting stuff out at 99 cents. Like, it's not to say you have to have even $5 cards on there, but it's got to be something people have heard of.
Yeah.
You just can't get on there and sell the junk. I don't think so. And be successful. I think it's an awesome opportunity. I compared it to like Twitch streaming for gamers. Like, it is very, very close to next to impossible to become a full-time gamer. Now, if you start on Twitch, there's almost zero chance you'll build a following. 10 years ago, or however long, maybe it wasn't that long ago, but let's say 10 years ago, you could do that. Twitch was new. There was upward mobility was an option, and now it's not. And I feel like Whatnot could be the same way. I'm a lot more impressed with them the more I've seen, and the more I've seen how they've invested into it and have future plans for it. Like, I thought it was kind of a cash grab to begin with, just taking advantage of the collectibles market at the peak. But I think it could be around for a while. I think
it's basically, for those that don't know, I think it's basically Facebook Live meets eBay. I mean, that's the easy way to put it.
Yeah.
I mean, the fast-paced action of it seems a little too even overwhelming for me in a bit. That, I mean, the idea of a 30-second auction is really stupid in my mind. But I mean, what are we gonna do? Like 4-minute auctions? Like,
right. Yeah.
So I mean, if you got enough people in your room, if you got enough, I mean, it's the Facebook Live portion of it. If you've got enough people there watching, and it seems a lot like they've, for the amount of time they've been live, it seems like they've got a lot of the kinks worked out, where payments are immediate, shipping, all that stuff. I mean, all that. So I don't know. We're gonna try.
Yeah.
We're gonna see.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, I mean, as long as we can build somewhat of a following, and I don't see any problem there.
Yeah.
And I think it's just, I mean, I think it's an exciting opportunity.
It'll be fun.
We'll see
one way
happens.
or the other.
Yeah. Sure. So if y'all have any ideas on that, or opinions, or like comments or anything, like, feel free to throw them at us. We're open to ideas for sure, because we've never done this before. Not this
it's all new to us.
And you haven't watched much Whatnot, and I haven't either.
I think it's, I mean, I was kind of I've tried, like, breaking channels before and had limited success. But I think it was more of a, I don't think there's any reinventing the wheel type thing. It's just like, we know what people like, we know you can have a card that sells for $1 on eBay and another card that sells for $1 on eBay, and we both know which one's going to sell faster, so, or a $5 card and a $5 card, or, so finding, I think we know what people like, I mean, it's not real hard. I mean, Prism color rookies and old Topps Chrome stuff, and, the autographed jerseys, I mean, all that stuff is going to move faster. I mean, if you have an autographed jersey or a jersey card of Luis Roberts, it's going to move faster than a Don Baylor rookie, or a Don Baylor jersey card, or whatever. Like, there's nothing new. We're not reinventing the wheel there. It's just getting the steps down and getting enough people in the room to make it work.
Sure.
So that's where the finding an extra 3 or 4 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours a week comes in,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it might be the opportunity where it's just, displacing, but it's there. I think, for me, if it was me, I would think one of the most important things would just be set up a schedule, and this is what we do on Tuesday and Saturday night, or Tuesday or Wednesday and Sunday night, or not Thursday, because we do the card cast.
Thursday at 9 p.m. You could just follow us into the room.
That's right.
At 11 p.m. We'll start the show.
That's right. Card cast on Whatnot. Don Baylor, 72 Topps. Theodore has been very active in chat tonight.
He's the man. Thank you,
Theodore has basically wrote a book in our chat. Nick Wags, hope they make Topps Chrome the high-end retail and get the licensing from Panini for Prism and make it hobby only. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I like that. Why is everyone so anti-Fanatic? It's not like you have a choice. One thing I learned about the hobby, people might leave or take a break, but they all eventually come back.
Yeah, sometimes it's 30 years, though.
Yeah. I mean, you have a choice. I mean, for 2 years, all I worked with was 1971 Topps. I don't have to go through Fanatics to do anything with that.
No.
Like, I could do that for the rest of my life, work with Vintage for the rest of my life, and never have to deal with Fanatics if I wanted to. And we'll see. I mean, we'll see. I definitely want Topps and Bowman, and
I think that's the most important thing that happened. That nobody can imagine baseball cards of that Topps, and now we don't have to.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's a relief. Yeah.
That's the most important thing that happened today.
Ruben should buy Beckett to grade and promote. He's going to buy. Yeah, he should, because they're sure not doing anything with it. Either SGC or Beckett. SGC, I think, has a company. Beckett, I mean, everybody went on vacation, I guess.
I wanted to check something, too, while we're on here. Like, Bowman's Best came out yesterday.
Yeah.
So let's see what a 2021 Bowman's Best Marcelo Myers only rookie card is going to be worth.
On Beckett?
No, on eBay. Since Beckett decided that it's going to be his only rookie card.
Marcelo Mayer? That's his only rookie card is what they... Yeah. I thought it was... That was the whole thing?
Mm-hmm.
Beckett decided that's his true rookie?
That's his only rookie card, yeah.
His only rookie card, even though he's never played in majors?
Well, now my whole conspiracy tinfoil hat thing now is that Topps knew when they produced this set that they were going to be bought out by Fanatics. And this is their little, going away present. Is now technically there's going to be like 2 to 3 years now where the stud guys are in 2021 Bowman's Best as their only rookie card. And then they sold that to Panini, and now Panini has to clean up the mess.
Fanatics, sorry.
Fanatics has to clean up the mess.
Okay, so like I still don't understand. Like, he's gonna have other cards.
Okay.
He's gonna have RC rookie cards.
Right. But they're not gonna be his rookie cards.
Why?
Okay, so in the past, in 2020 Bowman's Best, there was 100 card set. Or that's not true. There was 2 50 card sets.
Yeah.
One was the Bowman's Best set. One was the Top Prospect set.
Yeah.
This year, 2021, the one that just came out yesterday.
Yeah.
Topps numbered at 1 to 100.
Yeah.
So, according to rookie card rules, if that player is in a mainstream set that is also available nationwide through packs, that's their rookie card. So the fact that they were in the same set with Aaron Judge and Mike Trout and Mookie Betts in that same 100 card set, then that's their rookie card.
Even though it doesn't have an RC logo.
Even though it doesn't have an RC logo.
I mean, I understand what you're saying, but does that matter? I mean, is the hobby in general going to recognize?
That's why I was checking.
Oh, okay.
That's why I was checking to see if them. I mean, yesterday. Today's the 6th. Yesterday, Marcelo Mayer rookie card. That card went for $12.99. It also went for $18. That's his base Bowman's Best.
Okay.
That should be $3.
Okay. So it is.
So as of today, it is making a difference. Okay. But it's the second day out.
Sure.
So technically, it's also Bobby Witt's rookie card.
So invest in 2021 Bowman's Best wax.
Well, that's why people are doing it. I mean, that's why mini boxes are $200 right now. Mini boxes. Yeah. $20 for Bobby Witt base rookie card, which he had last year. You can buy last year's Bowman's Best for $3 to $4 or $5, but that's going to be his
without an RC logo.
Without an RC logo,
that doesn't make sense.
He will get an RC logo whenever he plays a game in the major leagues. Then they'll be in the set and they'll have an RC logo.
Sure. Well, 6 months later.
Yeah.
After he's played 26 games they have to play?
I don't know the exact rules on that because last year Luis Roberts had rookie cards the entire year and he hadn't played a game. In 2020 he had stuff in February because they knew he was going to come up and play, but then the season got canceled so he didn't actually play a game till like July, but he had rookie cards in February.
But the MLB let him get away with it.
Mm-hmm. So they may do that with like Bobby Witt this year.
That's weird.
Wander Franco definitely is in 2022 Top Series 1.
So, because they used to be really like Alex Gordon's cards got trashed.
That was a year they switched it over. Yeah. That was a year they switched. So technically, if you look in Beckett, and this is what most people aren't going to care about. I mean, it's like the technicality side. Justin Verlander has a 2005 Topps card in the top set. He also has a 2006 Topps card with the rookie card logo, and that's recognized as his rookie card. Even though he has a 2005 the year before that's not, because that's when they switched over the... So...
Which one sells for more?
The 05. Yeah. But the 06 has value when it's technically a second year.
Yeah.
So these Bowman's Best will have more value than they should because of that fact.
Yeah.
But they're not going to be.
Yeah.
They're not going to be recognized as rookie cards in the industry.
Sure.
Secondary industry, I should say.
Yeah.
But I thought it was a little, twist going out the door.
Yeah. Yeah. I get that.
Like here's a mess for you to clean up after you take us down. Here's a $400 million FU,
But now the guy that did that, he's going to go to work for Fanatics now.
He works for Fanatics now. Immediately.
Literally works for Fanatics now. He's not only going to be responsible for creating the mess, he's going to be responsible for cleaning it up.
Probably just resign.
Yeah.
Bowman's best
golden parachute.
Yeah. Bowman's best art director.
Yeah. Those are cool cards, by the way.
Yeah. I've seen a couple we have a couple of mini boxes worth of stuff, and they're cool. That's cool. Bowman's best, but they're cool. So.
That's cool.
9 viewers. I don't know when we've had 9 viewers. Sharp says 9 viewers. You guys bring a lot of experience and knowledge to the table. Yeah. The last thing we want is more people watching us.
Yeah. Nah, I don't. Yeah, and I don't like doing so. Like, so you should like cross promote. Like, I don't like doing that. No. I don't like doing collaborations with people because their opinions are not my opinions, and this channel is not our main source of income.
For those of you that don't know,
this is just for us to screw off. And
for those of you that don't know, at 8:50, this does not look like this.
Yeah, no.
Like this is the sign that goes out front of the store. This wasn't made for this. Like this is just 2 guys talking about shit for an hour. Talking about stuff for.
I think it's a good show, but it's probably a good show because we don't. It's not. It's not.
All 15 people agree with us.
It's not a priority. Yeah. It's something we do for fun.
Yeah.
And something we do to interact with people that come in the shop and people on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I think it's good for us.
Some of your loyal subscribers.
Yeah. For sure. I think it's good for us personally just to kind of hash things out. And, this is a good way to just sit down and have a conversation about stuff and kind of learn from each other.
That's kind of how it started, was like 2 o'clock in the morning, and we was like, yeah, somebody else should be watching this, or we should tape this or something. It's like, let's do a podcast.
Yeah.
That's kind of how it happened.
Yeah. But
so all that promoting stuff, cross promotion stuff, neither one of us really cared to do anything like that.
If you wanted to do it, I wouldn't be against it. You'd probably feel the same way, but I don't want. It's not something I'm interested in. A lot of people were doing that back last year.
Oh yeah.
And I just had no desire to.
I promise everybody listening, we will never interview Geoff.
Never say never.
I will never.
Never say never.
I'm gonna let you handle that. I want to watch that. I would pay money to watch that.
I'll sell out. Say I won't. How much is he paying?
To be on your channel?
Yeah. How much?
That's true.
How much is he paying to have me on his channel?
That's very ambitious of you.
I'm punching up.
Well, we can't punch down.
Yeah, right? Yeah. I don't think they yeah, I don't think he. The only person that knows who I am at Sports Card Investor is the guy that comes and puts thumbs down on our videos. It has to be them. There's somebody that comes through and like usually within an hour of posting a video, they'll put a thumbs down on it.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what it is. It could be about kittens, and they would put a thumbs down on it.
Well, we've spoken the name, so there'll be one for sure.
And I don't have any ex-girlfriends that know I do this.
Yeah. We might have guests someday, but
Theodore,
we probably won't.
I can just imagine Theodore, like I feel like I know you. Like I played pool with you or snooker when I was in high school, and you were in the corner, like trash talking somebody about something. Like
$68.
I love it.
That's funny.
I do think there's something to that. Like they are alienating people, but I think Fanatics will alienate people, but that doesn't mean that the two segments of the hobby can't coexist. Like there can't be this new age people that jump on there and break new stuff, and grade it and sell it right there on their marketplace and all that stuff, and still have like an old school collector segment, that does things the way we've always done them.
Well, like the only way to scale it in any form that they have talked about scaling it is for them to do everything. It's the only way. Like, I don't think that they're like, there's no, like, that's what's so weird about it to me, and I can't wrap my head around it. Like Fanatics, they would just go out and say, they're not done acquiring businesses in the sports card market. Like they're not done.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's when they did the apparel thing, they just went out and bought lids, and then they had however many thousands of stores ready to go. Like maybe they buy Blowout, maybe they buy Peach State, or maybe they buy Dave and Adams, and all of a sudden they have this distribution channel that's ready to go. I mean, I don't know. I don't know that they're done acquiring businesses in the sports card market.
You're probably right. I'm sure they're not done.
Yeah.
But
the way it's set up now, they're not going to buy every local shop in town. You know what I mean? Like it's direct to consumer. Everything that they've talked about is putting all those little guys out of business. It's like Walmart coming in, doing stuff for the community, and then putting every mom and shop hardware store out of business.
I don't think we look at it the same way, because I don't think the collector population wants anything to do with them. And I don't think they will. Like, they don't want to do business like that. And it's just like how I'm not going to hard sell anybody anything in this store. And most of the time, like, I'll be nice to them, but I'm not going to get in their space, because most of the guys that create or that like collect and like this kind of stuff are kind of introverted and, don't want people in their grill, but
so, I think the people that are here, I think the people that come here are like that, but I think the majority of, well, I shouldn't say majority. I think trade nights are successful for a reason, I mean, it doesn't fit the atmosphere of our place very much.
Mm-hmm.
But that the time, and we haven't talked about it on here yet, but that video that we've put up on YouTube about January 1st here. I mean, that interactiveness is what's going to grow it.
Oh, I never put that video up.
Oh, okay.
There's no time for me to edit videos.
No, I mean the one, one where it was a minute, and
sure.
I don't know if that got onto YouTube or just Facebook or whatever.
I guess it's not interacting. It's it's Fanatics is not putting together sets of 1983 tops.
No.
Like, they're not going to have anything to do with that.
No,
like,
but
there'll still be an eBay / collectors segment of the hobby.
But that's already a smaller portion of the industry as a whole.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why we have, that's why we have 87 top sets sitting out there, because not everybody that collects wants an 87 top set.
Sure.
It's like they want it until it's the same as me. You want it until you got it. Mm-hmm. And then at some point you want it, and you want somebody else to want it while you still have it. I mean, that's kind of what collecting is. Like, like there's a lot of people, and I have respect for people that just buy a card because they want a card. Like Michael.
Yeah.
He buys White Sox because he wants all the White Sox.
Yeah.
Rich that comes in wants all the Mahomes because he wants all the Mahomes. It's like, there's a level of respect for that I haven't found that guy that I want to do that with, that I need every cool card of that guy. Like, but that's a small portion of, there's a small minority of guys that want every Topps card ever made, and are willing to go back and build sets to do that.
Sure.
It's the new, like, even now, the word PC is thrown around way too much, because it's PC until it makes a profit.
Yeah, it's PC until somebody's willing to give enough for it.
Right. So
it's a cool thing to say.
But that's the thing. Like,
yeah.
When that 12-year-old kid come in and said, I'm PC and Bobby Witt, I was like, no, you're not. I mean, you're not. I mean, he hasn't even played yet,
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that, but it's like,
I mean,
we're like as hardcore, like our shop is as hardcore a shop as it gets.
Sure.
So,
but when I go on eBay, it doesn't have to be people wanting a 1987 Topps set, or people that want every Topps card. Like, there's people that collect All-Star Game Used. There's people that collect, only certain. Like, there's so many of those actual collectors, like you're talking about, which really are the heart of the hobby. And the actual collectors are not going to Fanatics.
No.
Like, and that is what that. So what I'm saying is, there's this segment that's being supported by actual collectors, and then there's this business over here that's, like that's doing business stuff. So, like, we would continue to operate. Well, I mean, hopefully we would be able to operate in both to some degree, to offer new products to people, but we and people like us trying to make a living in the sports card collecting hobby or whatever would I don't think that we would miss out on much, because we're not getting those people's money anyways. We're not buying and selling products for the people that are going to be hardcore fanatics.
No. I mean, I see what you're saying. This shop's, I mean, there's just so much. I mean, there's so much to unpack on which shops are going to make it. Like, I mean, it's not, I mean, there's going to be shops, and it's the way it is now, that somehow, like, Fanatics still calls me on a semi-regular basis about wholesales, about like they may do that to everybody that's ever ordered $500 from them before. I mean, that's kind of direct to consumer that they're talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, I bought something from somebody yesterday that got a call that Optic Blasters and Megas, another run of those came, basketball, and that they were doubling the amount you could order. And so uh a part-time, flipper basically got a call about that, and I didn't get a call about that. So like the fact that they're calling people till they run out of it or something, like it's already going direct to consumer at when they have the ability to print as much as they want to, or it's basically the lines are going to be blurred again between who's a dealer and who's a collector, and then the shops that survive are going to be the ones that separate themselves other than new wax.
Sure.
So
which is like, I mean, it takes a lot of work to make money off this stuff outside of wax. Like, there's not going to be a lot of people that do it. And to build on that, like, there's going to be a certain amount of people that have made enough in the last 2 years that they don't care if they do it anymore.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, there's you can make a very comfortable living on flipping high-end singles in the last 2 years without doing 10 hours of work a week or whatever, and making a trip once a month to a big show. Like, you can make, I mean, we're talking people work 40 hours a week to bring home a $600 paycheck. I mean, the numbers that we're talking about aren't realistic to. I mean, the separation between people that are making a living selling sports cards and the normal person right now is just, the gap's so big to me. I think, like, the numbers that we're talking about, like, there are people that can.
You mean the numbers we were talking about a year ago? Because nobody's making money flipping sports cards right now. Like, not like there are people making like you can still go to a show if you take $5,000 and you can buy $3,000 worth of slabs that are worth $5,000 and sell them on eBay and make $1,000.
Right. Like I would say, yes, that's what I mean. A year ago, if I didn't make myself clear, like a dealer that made their living selling sports cards 3 years ago, their average annual salary was below the median, was like lower middle class.
Yeah.
And now I would say it's probably upper middle class, if not higher than that for some people.
Yeah.
So it's going to take, and that took 2 years, 18 months, 2 years now, probably. Like I remember buying 2020 Bowman in February of 2020. So almost 2 years ago, 19 or 23 months ago. Like, it's going to take, like, I can stop doing that. I mean, if this was the trajectory that we were on, I could stop doing that for 2 years and go back to my, original salary, original amount of making money. And then now we're talking 2024 and who knows what's going on. So, like, it's like, those people making a living selling sports cards, it's going to be a gradual, like,
yeah, nobody's gonna go out of business overnight,
right? Like, it's the same thing as Fanatics does. Like, everything's gonna be so gradual at that point. You're not even gonna realize it until it's there, and then we're looking back at it. Like, it's gonna be hard to make moves on stuff like this when you're in the game. When you're in the middle of it.
There's no apocalypse, and there's like, I'm not, at least up until you said that right there, I hadn't even thought of trying to use this to some type of business advantage. Like, it's business as usual until it's not.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you got to kind of look out ahead to see, what kind of storm might be rolling in or anything like that. But, like, regardless, like you're saying, like, there's a lot of people that are not going to want to go back to the way things were before. A lot of shop owners or whoever, but Um, Also, like, I don't. I think the floor is higher regardless of where we end up. For somebody making a living in this business, if you're putting in the same amount of work as you were 3 years ago, your floor is higher. You're making a
Mm.
better living. It's like I look at it as like, you know, the minimum wage didn't go up for 20 years and then it doubled.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
like, yeah, maybe that's wrong, but I feel like the floor is probably higher. It just depends on where. I mean, where stuff's at. You can definitely. There's always going to be product to buy. Like, there's going to be this stuff we've got right now is going to be coming in for years.
Yeah.
I mean, and I mean, is it? There's no apocalypse where people are just going to stop wanting it
Yeah.
completely. Like, so.
Yeah. I mean, there's um the apocalypse is. I mean, there is no apocalypse, but I mean, we peaked out at 18 shops, and I think we're down to 15 maybe,
Mm-hmm.
and I think there's another one nearly going away pretty soon. So the 14. Um, it's hard to say. I mean, I would, I would, I would think that the future is going to be bright,
Mm-hmm.
but different.
Yeah.
Like um, it's gonna be different. Like you're gonna have to roll the punches. Like I think I've said this before on here that um there was a shop that in Omaha area or
Mm-hmm.
Lincoln area that tried to get a Panini Direct account, and the reason he did not get one is because he didn't have a big enough social media presence.
Sure.
So I think shops, I mean those direct accounts are freaking lottery tickets. I mean their licenses to print money. Like you really had, like, first of all, it usually can't be taken away. Like you really have to screw up for it to be taken away. But now, um, to get one, I mean, it, it's just gonna be super interesting. Like if they start handing them out like candy, they're not gonna be worth anything. If they take them away from everybody, then there's gonna be this super portion. Like there's gonna be this super portion of like guys at the national, um, and there's going to be 300 guys that have booths at the national, and they all have Fanatics accounts. So it's all going to conglomerate to like 300 guys or whatever. Like there's going to be, um, I see a consolidation of power, money, all that stuff, and the little guys going away, which it's never been that way before. Like it's never like it's more of a conglomerate happening at this point than, I mean, Topps has only ever offered baseball cards before, but once they opened the pack, there was this whole other world that came that Topps really had little to zero control over or wanted to have any control over.
Yeah.
Now Fanatics wants to hold that card, grade that card. They want to rip the pack for you, all that stuff. All that stuff they want to do all at once, and that's just going to consolidate power, money,
Yeah.
actions.
I'm having a hard time. Like, I know what you're saying, but I'm having a hard time caring because this is not something that I want to have anything to do with. Like, I don't envision myself. mm, I mean, this isn't like I know what you're saying. It does matter, and it's really important to a lot of people out there. But um, like, I don't want to have anything to do with that. Like
But
I.
what if you? But what if you instead of eBay? What if you had to go to Fanatics.com auction service? Like
I mean, there's a possibility of that, but I doubt it. Like, I think that's pretty out of their wheelhouse. Like, yeah, they're a $10 billion company, but eBay probably does what, 10 billion a day.
oh, I don't know.
I mean, it's something insane. Like,
But that's I mean, I'm not giving them that much credit, but that's the vision, right?
Yeah. So maybe
to house, to store, to sell insurance for
10 years down the road,
right?
Yeah, but they're not breaking 100,000 cases on Fanatics.com. Like this is like the limited edition print run stuff that they're going to be able to break in house. Like there's not a market for people to pay for them to break, a whole.
Well, that's what I mean by to scale it. Their business model has been to buy Leighton Sports or to buy Firehand Cards, and now they have an instant audience, instant breaker. Then now they get a portion of.
Sure.
So,
but I mean, even like them, like Leighton's a huge breaker, but they're a tiny portion of the market of the print run.
Right. I mean, but it could be big. I mean, if you have a National Treasures breaking channel and that's the only place you can get it for 2 days, and it's Rich Leighton doing it,
yeah,
or Blowout Cards, or
they're gonna make a lot of money. But I just don't see how it's gonna affect me. Or you.
No, it's not gonna. I don't think it'll affect us.
Like I still plan on hanging my shingle out somewhere, within the next 2 years. And I don't I'm not have no anxiety about that because I'm not like I have it planned out where my costs are super low and I've got a strategy where it's not dependent on any of that stuff.
Mm-hmm. I'm just talking on the other side of how some of the only changes you'll see on the outside as a consumer.
Oh, okay.
Not the inside inner workings of it.
Okay.
Like some stuff is gonna, like, that's the only stuff I kind of see changing. Like if you, I mean, they just paid Topps $500 million. I don't know the percentage that Leighton or Blowout break. I don't know what the Blez brothers, whoever the biggest breakers are, I don't even know who they are sometimes. But if you throw, $20 million at a breaker or $8 million at a breaker, and say, here you have you have a $250,000 salary for the next 10 years, and here, I mean, how many guys would you have to line up? It's kind of the buying the lids and already having it, like, you know what I mean?
Kind of, but if you were buying a really trashy lids, because like all of these, like for one, like all of these Blez Brothers, Leighton, like Fire, they all use different systems. I mean, Chad's a big breaker for having two people on screen, like Blez Brothers. I don't know how many they have, but they probably don't have more than 10 guys breaking. I mean, how many cases can you go through in a week? Like, you would have to buy up a bunch of different people that like have a bunch of different ways of organizing and like managing things. And like,
I know old school, there was there was a place called Platinum Breakers or something, like Platinum Break Group or something like that, and they would go through 200 cases of National Treasures in a week, something like that. I mean, they can't do all of it, but they can do a lot. I mean, they could have their own. It's kind of. It's not going to affect us.
It's still going to cost an insane amount of money to like buy into a National Treasures break.
Mm-hmm.
It's still going to cost probably the same or less.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah. You could instead of going to a YouTube channel to break, you could go fanatics.breakers.tv or something like that. And that's the group of 30 breakers that get product that week. You know what I mean? Like, they could corner markets like that if they wanted to.
They could try.
Well, if they're the one giving the cards to them, they could. I mean,
yeah. I mean, you're giving them way too much credit, in my opinion. Like they're. I mean, it's not the same as Lids. Like
no, but
like Lids was already selling their crap.
Well, I guess I have a respect for them,
which I guess they are still selling their crap
because
too,
I mean, they just made however many they saved hundreds of millions of dollars by cutting Topps knees off and then buying them afterwards.
I mean, okay. Like, I don't know why.
They should get a little bit of credit for the way, not credit, but you don't have to like the way they did it, but you have to have respect for the business side of it.
Not really.
Okay.
I'm anti. You're not winning me over on this. I don't know how the win that you would be winning me over, but like you're right. Like they're going to be breaking a lot, and they might be the only people breaking stuff because they might just cut all the breakers off. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know that.
I don't think they want us that. We've talked about it before. The only way they pay Major League Baseball 5 to 10 times more than Topps did is to conglomerate all the profits from all these different revenue streams. So there's not going to be as many breakers. There's not going to be probably any wholesalers. There's not going to be, like, they want to take my profit from that optic blaster that I buy from somebody off the street for $50 or $55, and I sell for $70. They want to take that $15 profit from me. They want to take the $15 profit or the $20 profit the flipper made, and they want to take the $8 profit that Walmart made. So they want to take all of that.
They want to take all of that from a product that won't exist a year from now, 2 years from now. Like,
well,
like you have
now it's Topps. Optic was a bad choice.
You have a vested interest in believing that blasters and megas and stuff will be like, people will be willing to pay $60, $80, $100 for them.
Sure.
2 years from now. I don't believe that. Like, maybe, and it's a good chance that they will, because they'll market it, they'll advertise it, and they'll convince people that it's important, and that'll be their only option. You can either pay this amount and get cards or not.
Yeah. Topps Chrome basketball blasters with LaMelo rookie cards in it would be $75 to $100 a blaster
right now.
Yeah,
they would. I mean, but 2 years ago, nobody's willing to pay $20 for a blaster. Right. Like, a lot of people were not willing to pay $20 for a blaster.
Yeah.
Huge portion of 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And I don't think the economics works in their favor. Not to mention, like, I mean, there's got to be a recession sometime, at some point in time. I'm not looking forward to it. It's not good for collectibles, but also, like,
Dave Ramsey says 10 years.
Dave Ramsey?
Mm-hmm. Before the housing market crashes.
Isn't that the guy that tells you to put money in envelopes?
Yeah, pretty much. But this is the only time he's ever agreed with the guys from Wall Street.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think we're sitting on this big bubble. I mean, we both agree on that. But the problem is they printed so much cash, we're sitting on a big bubble of cash. Like, they just signed a $5 trillion stimulus package or whatever that it is, like, they're just printing more money. So it's going to take, I mean, that's probably where they get the decade number from. I'm definitely out of my league on talking about that. But that's probably where they get the decade number from. It's like, people aren't going to run out of money for 10 years,
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I think a recession benefits people with a lot of money stacked away. So, like, inflation's terrible if you've got a whole bunch of money stashed away. If you're super rich and you got a whole bunch of money stashed away, and suddenly the value of apples triples.
Yeah.
Like, suddenly your money buys a whole lot less.
Inflation doesn't hurt.
So,
yeah.
That's not good for people that are super rich and have a bunch of money stashed away.
Yeah.
So, this is out of our wheelhouse for this podcast, and we should probably end it. I think this has gone off the rails. But
all 8 people are really going to be.
Yeah, all 8 people listening to this right now are just shaking their heads and like, but yeah, like you want to find whose fault it is. Go to the person that has the most to benefit.
We have our first Russian troll.
We do. Banana Bob Kowajewoff. All right. Yum.ong. No one go to that website, please.
Yeah.
Report. Unwanted commercial content or spam report. I'm just glad we've made it. We've got a troll.
That made us double-digit viewers.
That's right. Thank you, Kawajawash. All right, guys. I think we're gonna call it.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. Awesome. What else were we gonna talk about? I forget.
That was over my head. I don't like whatnot. We're supposed to have a link.
Yeah,
maybe we'll have another. We'll have another next
maybe.
Week. Yeah, come buy stuff from us on Whatnot. What are you paying on comps? 50%. That's the high side. Now we pay more than 50% on a lot of higher dollar singles.
Yeah, the higher singles we pay 60 to 70 usually, but the stuff that we'll never list, I would say like $10 and under, we don't really pay comps on it. I mean, it just depends on how it comes in. Yeah. It depends on how much. It really does matter how you bring it in.
Yeah. Organization is key.
Yeah. I mean, if I have to either do it myself or pay someone else to do it, yeah, that's taking off the total of what I pay you.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's organized, if you bring in a 5,000 count box and this row is Heritage and this row is Series 1 and this row is, Prism and all the inserts are at the end of it and they're all in order, you're going to get more for that box than if you come in with a grocery bag full of Topps cards,
Yeah.
Which has happened before every day.
But even that box, like, if you come in and it's all stuff and none of it's listable, like you're not, like it's all under $20 or under $10, there's nothing that can be, there's no way to quickly get that money back.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of hard to pay when you have to pay me or somebody to like process that in a way that will eventually make you some money.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, on listable singles, Mike pays a lot better than that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he pays better than that on listable singles.
Plus, there's most of that stuff that's under $10. The comps are 99 cents to $10. So,
but that's not like, if you go into 100 shops, the average is probably going to be under 50% of what people pay.
Mm-hmm.
You're probably, I've seen as low as 25% up to probably 55%.
I think the most
high end.
Yeah. I think I think the percentages don't matter as much as being on the same page of actual comps.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I could tell you I pay 80% of comps, but if it's the lowest one out there,
yeah,
then it doesn't matter what percentage of comps
right.
I mean, I think comps are more important than the actual percentage that people are paying.
And understanding how to read comps and how it will translate to actual sales.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of people out there, I know some of them, that are really good at manipulating comps.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and But
comps is short for comparable.
Yeah. Yeah.
like someone winning a 1-bid auction for $399 is not a comp for the card you just pulled, and that was the day after release, and it's 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
That's not comparable.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, I think it's bigger. I think it's more important that there's an ideal on comps rather than percentage of comps. Like nobody's gonna, like, no shop's gonna pay you 85% of comps because that's what they get, and most shops aren't gonna pay you 70% because they don't want to work off those margins.
Yeah.
I mean, 50%. If it on most deals that I buy, I'm trying to double my money. That's what most shops want to do. But that may be paying 70% for the good stuff and 30% for the stuff that's going to take hours and hours to sort and list and months to sell.
Yeah.
$1 at a time or quarter at a time. So when you go to sell something, if you bring all of it in at one time, then imagine you're going to get paid half of what it's worth.
Yeah.
If you're just looking for a certain amount of money that you need for that month or whatever, or another card you want to buy, then to get the most money, you're going to bring in the easiest stuff for us to sell. If you're looking for, I mean, I've paid comps before on stuff if it was a Mahomes card, that I knew I could flip for $50 and make some money.
Yeah.
So it all depends on the card. My best recommendation for something like that is go to somebody and create a relationship with that person. And that way it makes it easier on everybody, and you don't have to go shopping it 4 times every time you want to go sell a card.
Yeah.
So plus business card shops figure that out every once in a while, So I to answer that question the long form way.
All right. Well, everybody go watch Jeff Wilson because we're done.
Geoff probably has a new video today.
All right, guys.
Bye, everybody.
Have a good evening.